final check. Here we go. Good Friday evening to you. Glad to have you along this evening. WLA TV, we got a dandy on tap tonight. The number 2 team in the state in Division 4, the Laconia Spartans, in town here at the campus of Winnebago Lutheran Academy to take on the Vikings. This is essentially the Flyway Conference title game. Now, don't get me wrong, WLA has to still play Omro at home at St. Mary's Springs. Those two, their toughest 2 games of the season after tonight. But if the Vikings are able to somehow knock off the number 2 team in the state and then win out in the conference, they would share a conference title with the Laconia Spartans. That's going to be a tough thing to do. Laconia is 18-2 on the season, perfect 10-0 in the Flyway Conference, leading the conference, obviously, and has been ranked in the top 3 of the state all season long after a state runner-up appearance last year with pretty much all freshmen, a sophomore, and a senior. Now, Laconia, a year more senior, but still led by that talented class: Ava Engel, Molly Toole, Tierney Madigan, Aubrey Leonard, and Peyton Morgan, the 5 talented sophomores. Add a couple of freshmen to that, add a couple of juniors, sprinkle in a senior, and you have the number 2 team in the state. And it's kind of interesting to look at it, because if you go to the Flyway Conference page on wisports.net and you just look at the player individual statistics, you would probably say to yourself, well, if you're looking at this matchup, you're saying WLA's got to come into this as the favorite. Because if you do that, you see Kiara Shea leads the conference with 17.5 points per game. Lindsay Nell not far behind her in second with 16.3. And still in the top 4 is Abby Cole with 14.7 points per game. So it's a big 3 for the Vikings. 3 of the top 4 scorers in the conference all on the same team with the Vikings. However, it's the Spartans that are so formidable, and it's because they go legitimately 8 deep. And normally when you say 8 deep, you mean you play 8. I mean the Spartans can lean on one of 8 different people on any given night. They're led by Tierney Madigan and Peyton Morgan. That has been no different from a season ago. Tierney Madigan averages 12 points per game. Peyton Morgan 10 points per game, but a unbelievably lights-out three-point shooter. She shoots it at 43%. She's hit 45 threes this season. But then Aubrey Leonard, 9 points per game. Callista Vandenberg, 7-6. Kaylee Taplin, 7-4. Reese Keel, 6-4. Molly Dool, 5-7. And Ava Engel, 5-4. There you go. There's 8 deep of people that average more than 5 points per game for the Spartans, and any have the ability to go off for a big number on any given night. That's what makes Laconia so difficult such a difficult task to try to undertake. They only average 64.2 points per game. Now that's a healthy number. WLA averages 64.4 points per game. But make no mistake about it, anyone on that starting lineup and going 3 deep off the bench for Laconia can light you up if you aren't careful. That's what makes them such a difficult matchup from night to night in the Flyway. And then on the other side of things, they're a very, very good defensive, some would say elite, I would say elite defensive team. So all of that to say, do the Vikings even have a chance? Well, you bet they have a chance. Earlier this year, the Vikings probably did about as well as anyone other than maybe Randolph. And, Laconia has a couple losses on the season, a 9-point loss to one of the better teams in Division III in Waupun, and then they lost to Edgewood, also another Division III team. That was just a couple of weeks ago, a 59-51 loss to Edgewood. But you'll go back to the early part in the season, WLA lost by 11. They lost Siri Kuski down the stretch in that game. Obviously had an impact to how the Vikings were able to finish that game, but it was a 17, 18-point lead for Laconia that the Vikings got down to 5 points late in that game. So, yeah, the Vikings can play with them. Vikings, meanwhile for them, 15-3 on the season. I mentioned the 64.4 points per game. Do not shoot the 3 nearly as well as the Laconia Spartans do, but they are able to get up. When they're able to get out in transition, WLA becomes a very, very dangerous team. The likes of Kiara Shea, Lindsay Nell, Abby Cole all running the floor extremely well, and the ability of Siri Kuski, Leah Tyson, Avery Supernan to find teammates. That's been the recipe for success for the Vikings. One thing Laconia does not do very often is turn the ball over and allow you to get out in transition. If they don't do that tonight, WLA is going to find it very tough against the Spartans of Laconia. My goodness, we have a good one. WLA coming off a 13-point win, kind of underwhelming second half, actually very underwhelming second half against North Fond du Lac on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Laconia was all guns firing. They scored 68 and held Springs to 27 over at the pit on Tuesday evening. 4.5 minutes until we get starters and anthem. Hope you'll stick around with us for tonight's contest. It should be a dandy between the Vikings and the Spartans. Jordan King, pleasure to be with you. I know W7 was supposed to be here tonight, unfortunately couldn't make it, so happy that we can provide a stream alternate to that. Thanks for joining us. 4 minutes, we'll have anthem and starters. Flyway Conference Championship on the way. Stay with us on WLA TV.
evening's Flyway Conference basketball game between the Laconia Spartans and the Vikings of Winnebago Lutheran Academy. Winnebago Lutheran Academy, Laconia High School, and the WIAA require good sportsmanship and educational-based sporting events. Attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all in attendance, your cooperation in demonstrating the high ideals of sportsmanship is expected and greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please stand, remove your hats, and join us in honoring America and those who protect it with the playing of our national anthem performed by the WLA Pep Band under the direction of Mrs. Abigail Kirk. It's time to meet the starting lineups for this evening's game. First, for the Spartans, a 5'10 sophomore, number 11, Tierney Madigan. A 5'11 junior, number 12, Callista Vandenberg. A 5'8 sophomore, number 14, Aubrey Leonard. A 5'10 sophomore, number 21, Peyton Morgan. And a 5'8 senior, number 23, Reese Keel. Spartans are coached by Chris Morgan.
There you go. Those are the starters for the Spartans. We'll get to them once again in just a second. Before we introduce you to the Vikings starters, let's let them introduce themselves. The roster for the Vikings in 2023.
Evelyn Davies, Faith Lutheran.
Anna Truman, St. John's Elmira.
Leah Tyson, Faith Lutheran.
McKenna Conkey, Redeemer.
Abby Cole, Faith Lutheran.
Lindsay Nell, Redeemer. Avery Superdan, Faith Lutheran.
Siri Kuski, St. John's Elmira. Audrey Schumacher, St. Paul's Mount Calvary.
Kira Shea, St. Paul's Mount Calvary.
Those are the starters for the Vikings. Well, that's the roster for the Vikings. We'll introduce you to the starters in just a second, but let's start with the Spartans, the number 2 team in the state. 5'10 sophomore Tierney Madigan. She's joined by fellow sophomores 5'8 number 14 Aubrey Leonard and 5'10 number 21 Peyton Morgan. 5'8 senior is Reese Keel. She wears number 23, and number 12 is Callista Vandenberg. She's 5'11 and is a junior. 11 Madigan, 12 Vandenberg, 14 Leonard, 21 Morgan, 23 Keel. For the Vikings, their starters, 2 seniors and 3 juniors. Number 5 Lindsay Nell is a 6-foot junior. Abby Cole is number 22, a 5'11 junior, and Leah Tyson rounds out the juniors. She's number 13, 5'5 junior. Siri Kuski is a 5'7 senior wearing number 10, and Kiera Shea is my pick for Flyway Conference Player of the Year, 5'4 senior. Hard to be a 5'12 anything, isn't it? And she wears number 2. 2 Shea, 5 Nell, 10 Kuski, 13 Tyson, 22 Cole. And quickly, the Spartans win the tip. They'll have the first possession, and a quick steal for the Vikings. Kiera Shea picks the pocket of Madigan, goes down the right side, and the Vikings lead early. That's about as, well, that's better than anything Coach Schroffnagel drew up yesterday in his mind last night, getting ready for bed, no doubt about that. So here's a driving play by Morgan. Kicks it back out. Nice drive by Leonard. One-hand pass deflected by Nell underneath. Inbounds for the Spartans. 17 and a half minutes to remain, just 30 seconds into this one, and you can already feel the electric atmosphere. Laconia brought a bunch of fans. There may be more Laconia. Now you do have the general public section over there, but it's more full on the far side of the stands than it is the near side. But it is turn out the lights. Last one out of Laconia, or Rosendale, I should say, turn out the lights. That's missed. The runner from Leonard was strong and rebounded, cleared by Nell. Near side was Shea. Second offensive possession for the Vikes, the first in the half court set. Abby Cole has it, top of the key to Nell. Far side Shea goes around a Nell screen. Gets to this right wing, looks at Abby Cole at the high post. Nice job by Peyton Morgan, and there might be a 5-second call. That was close. Here's Shea, three-pointer from the corner. Misses, and an excellent rebound by Peyton Morgan. I'll tell you what, she did a terrific job at the high post guarding Abby Cole on that possession. She's got it now between the circles, setting up this possession for the Spartans. We'll see what the Vikings switch here. They'll probably switch most everything except for maybe Vandenberg underneath. Here's Morgan, the dangerous three-point shooter. She draws Leah Tyson here tonight. And Madigan, the leading scorer, draws Kiera Shea. Here is the first three for Morgan. Comes up just a little bit strong off the back post, or back rim, excuse me. And here comes Lindsay Nell in transition for the Vikings. Looks back to Abby Cole, top of the key, shot fake there. A little miscommunication, but a good recovery by Morgan that time defensively. Here goes Nell down the right side. That's where she likes to operate, and she scores her first bucket of the night. The Vikings have the first four of this game. Leonard finds Keel on the near side. Reese Keel driving on Nell. And they're going to screen another miscommunication, this time for the Vikings, and Tierney Madigan does not make him pay. Here goes Kiera Shea up the court. There's Kuski. Offensive rebound to Nell. Goes back up strong with it. And it was blocked from behind from Peyton Morgan. I think Coach Schraffnagel thought there was a foul. No whistle. Here comes Aubrey Leonard. Crosses Tyson over. Bounce pass to Vandenberg. And the I was going to say the Spartans were on the board, but spoke a little too soon. Vandenberg strong on the layup attempt. Rebound down to Abby Cole, and the Vikings escape another possession without giving up a bucket. Long three that time from Shea. Madigan with the rebound. Up ahead to Leonard very quickly. She kicks it out. Morgan, second shot from three, and it's deep. Saved by Keel, but straight to Abby Cole. Do not see two misses in a row from Peyton Morgan very often. Down the lane goes Kiera Shea. The Vikes are out running, and they have a 6-0 lead. Coach Morgan doesn't like it. Takes a timeout, and the Vikings have an excellent start here this evening. The first 3 minutes of the game, the Vikes have cultivated a 6-0 lead, all of it coming out in transition. And some things you don't see a lot of times from Laconia, turning the ball over a couple of times, and then a long three that didn't hit anything, and it got the Vikings out in transition. Just things you just don't see very often if you watch a lot of Laconia Spartan games. I've only seen a handful so far this season, one being the previous WLA game, one being parts of that Waupun game, one of them being parts of the Randolph game. So I've seen enough Laconia, and then obviously going back to last year, a lot of these names are very familiar. And these are some things that you don't see very often. And I think Coach Morgan just wanted the timeout to get everything settled down. The crowds are electric. The students are chanting back and forth, and just settle things down. Ava Engel comes into the game as well, by the way. She killed the Vikings in one of the games last year. We'll see if she has success here tonight. Leonard can't get that one to go, and the rebound is strong from Lindsay now. Shea has it down to Abby Cole at the high post. Cole wants to work against Morgan. Kicks it out to the corner. Wide open three there. Now nice close that time for Madigan. Doesn't matter. Lindsay Nell drained the triple. The Vikes have a 9-0 lead. Nell's in transition, but she stepped out of bounds. Nell picked off the pass in transition. Got a little excited there. It was a long pass. Nell thought she saved it, but she had her toe on the line, so it stays with the Spartans. Here's Leonard, near side Madigan. Uses the screen. No, going to deny the screen that time decline the screen from Morgan, and she's going to go down underneath working on Shea. Kicks it over to Leonard. Top of the key. Three on the way, right wing, and it's down for Reese Keel. Keel hit a couple of threes in the first game and a couple last season that were big, and that's the first points of the night for the Spartans. Here's Lindsay Nell. Madigan falls over. High post jumper is good. Sweet start from Lindsay Nell. She's got 7. And Tierney Madigan almost looked like she stepped on her own foot there and kind of went tumbling to the floor, allowed Nell to get a wide open shot. The Vikings lead was 9 after they got the first 9 points of the ball game. The lead's currently 8 with 13:34 to go here in the first half. Madigan's first 3 comes up short, and Abby Cole is going to collect the rebound. She gets 13 of those a game for the Vikings. Far side, this is it was Shea. Back to Kuski, top of the key now. Over to Abby Cole. Cole, nice job being patient here as Peyton Morgan has taken her out of the offense so far. 3 on the way for Abby Cole. She's only shooting at a 22% clip this year, well down from a season ago, and the rebound is cleared by Laconia. Morgan, third 3, can't leave her open. Oh, just rattled around and out. Looked good from my vantage point, but just off for Peyton Morgan, as have the first 3 for her. Down the lane goes Nell. Count the basket plus the foul. Lindsay Nell is close to double figures. In fact, she has 9 of the first 13, and she'll go to the free throw line with a chance to be the first player into double figures just 5.5 minutes into this game. The Vikings with a lot of intensity, specifically on the defensive side of the floor so far, but no lead is safe, you feel, when the number 2 team in the state is on the other side. Offensive rebound for Abby Cole, and something that she struggled with on Tuesday, which was the bunnies underneath. She missed that one as well. That was a little too much mustard from Aubrey Leonard, looking for Molly Duell, and that's going to go through her hands, and Callista Vandenberg's right back into the ball game. She's going to check in for Aubrey Leonard. Nice thing for Coach Morgan is pretty much the entire roster is 5'8" to 5'11" or thereabouts, and a lot of flexibility there. Kiera Shea shot fake. Lindsay Nell top of the key, working on Engel this time. Down to Abby Cole. Cole can't get it to go once again. Nice rebound by Vandenberg. Clears it out, gets it out to Taplin. Taplin's into the front court. Crosses once. Engel. The Vikings switching everything. Near side Taplin. Off of a screen. Tries to lob it into Vandenberg. That's a matchup they could have exploited, but it goes back out to Ava Engel. Backdoor cut by Morgan. Engel doesn't see her. Instead, it's Duell here. Crosses over. Duell to the basket through Kiera Shea. Down the lane. No whistle. Rebound down to Abby Cole. Cole looking for Shea on the far side. Instead, trailing Nell. This looks good. Comes up short. Offensive rebound is long. Nell down the lane. Floater, no good. Tapped around. Who's the foul on? It's on the Spartans. Callista Vandenberg picked up that foul. Looked like she just tapped it away from Abby Cole, but they said she got her on the arm as well. Avery Supernan trying to key it in. Bounces. Dangerous pass to Kiera Shea. And it's stolen on the return pass. Ava Engel. Nice play. Engel's into the front court across the Viking logo. Morgan back to Engel. 3 on the way. This one's no good. And the rebound is fought for and won by Abby Cole. Cole outlets to Supernan. And Avery's into the front court between the circles. Waits for Cole to join her, left wing. Top of the key back to Abby Cole. Cole's going to work on Engel now. Spins once, kicks it to the corner. Here's a long 2 on the way. Audrey Schumacher, no good. And Abby Cole, check that. Lindsay Nell going to pick up her first foul. First foul for the Vikings. And one that I think, is you don't got position, just put your hands up, run back the other way. But, hey, competitor's always going to fight for a rebound. There's no doubt about it. 10-point lead for the Vikings. It's their largest of the night as Duell's into the front court, and the Vikes going to switch everything again. Now they got a matchup underneath with Vandenberg. The Vikings switch it back on the far weak side, and a nice job by the Vikings to communicate that. Morgan gets to the low block. Now it's Vandenberg. Over to Duell. Looks for Madigan, Madigan uses a screen. Now she's got Lindsay Nell. Get the ball into Ava Engel might not be a bad idea. The Vikes re-switch it. They had Engel, who's 5'10", on the 5'4", Kiera Shea. Here's a 3 on the way. That misses from Taplin. Oh, and what a ferocious rebound from Abby Cole. Clears the possession for the Vikings, and she gets it right back from Shea in the front court. Crosses over, gets to the free throw line. Jump stops there. Shovels it to Nell. Nell down the lane. Through the contact, no whistle. Good no call there. Laconia was straight up and down. Madigan on the far side working on Kiera Shea. Nice job to keep the pivot foot. Madigan's got it now. Lobs into Vandenberg. Callista Vandenberg up against Abby Cole. No whistle. Cole was straight up that time. Good interior post defense from both of these squads so far. And the double dribble as Kiera Shea was moving a little too quick into the front court. 10-10 to go first half. Vikes lead by 10. And Ava Engel will be replaced by Aubrey Leonard. Taplin duel, Vandenberg, Leonard, Madigan, the 5 out on the floor for the visiting Spartans here tonight, who have 3 points coming from Reese Keel this evening and nothing else. Here goes Vandenberg. That's her spot right there. Gets too low and finishes. Nice little soft touch on the fadeaway jumper for Callista Vandenberg, and it's 13-5. That was a very good offensive possession. You get Aubrey Leonard back on the floor, and things just settled down just a little bit that possession for Laconia. This is Avery Supernan. Spins into the paint, jumps. Dangerous pass to the far side with Kiera Shea. Skip pass near side, Audrey Schumacher. Audrey looks to the high post with Abby Cole. Abby with a dribble there. Tied up. That's great hands from Molly Duell. And arrow stays with the Vikings, but a good defensive possession and very intelligent play by the 5'7" sophomore, Molly Duell. Maybe I should just say assume they're all sophomores unless I say otherwise. Is that what a talented class. Here goes Abby Cole. Check that. I'm sorry, Lindsay Nell. Count the basket and the foul. They're going to say the basket is good. Refs talked about it, and it's good. So they're going to pull in the subs here. Siri Kuski and Leah Tyson, the 2 starters, back onto the floor. I'm not sure how much Kiera Shea, Lindsay Nell, and Abby Cole are going to leave the floor here tonight for the Vikings. Definitely not as deep as the Spartans. Second and 1 opportunity for Lindsay Nell. She makes good of it this time. Nell has 12 points here in the early going. 4 twos, a 3, and 1 just then. 12 of the 14 coming from Nell, and this is the recipe for the Vikings. A lot of it comes from their big 3. Most of their production does. Drops all the way down to 5, almost 10 points per game difference from Siri Kuski to Abby Cole. Nice take by Molly Duell, and she's got her first points of the night. 3 different Spartans have scored 3 different baskets. That's kind of the recipe for them. For the Vikings, it's Lindsay Nell and Abby Cole and Kiera Shea, and Lindsay Nell got 3 offensive rebounds on that try alone, and she's going to go to the free throw line. Leah Tyson was underneath, couldn't finish, but waiting on the weak side was Lindsay Nell. And I'll be interested to see if this is maybe one of the chances Coach Schroffnagel up by 9 points, maybe decides he wants to take one of the big 3, so to speak, off the floor. And, yeah, it's going to be for Lindsay Nell. It's Evelyn Davies checked in at the table. Reese Keel's going to return. She replaces Peyton Morgan. And if this goes down for Lindsay Nell, who shot well from the free throw line on Tuesday, she's 2 for 3 here tonight, and now 3 for 4, and is going to take a seat as an early entrance for Evelyn Davies about halfway through this first half. 9 minutes, 2 seconds left in the half. An 11-point lead has been built for the Vikings against the Laconia Spartans. Here goes Duell down the lane, bounces out to Madigan. She gets to the middle of the paint, up against Abby Cole. Good no call there, and a nice finish from Tierney Madigan. Abby Cole was too close to the bucket, in my opinion. Here's Abby, long 2. This one misses off to the left, and a strong rebound, Callista Vandenberg. Bounce pass was dangerous, collected by Leonard. Leonard down the lane, kicks it to the corner. Madigan just scored her first points. One-handed pass down underneath. That's poked away by Siri Kuski. Can the Vikes complete the steal? Evelyn Davies does so, and she's got it in the backcourt for the Vikings. Well done by the Vikes in transition defensively. Here goes Kiera Shea in the corner. Top of the key, free throw line to Abby Cole. Cole down the lane, right side. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, fought for by Cole, and tipped around. Shea saves it. See if Coach Schroffnagel wants a timeout. And Coach Schroffnagel does get the timeout. Full time. I could hear him hollering through the headphones. You got to be pretty loud for me to hear you through the headphones. And you could hear Coach Schroffnagel doing that from the far side of the floor. Vikes get the timeout. It's a 60-second timeout. 8 minutes and 7 seconds left in the first half. We're going to take a break, too. Come back, collect ourselves. We got more basketball to come. Stay with us here on WLA TV. So each team now is taking a timeout. Welcome back, 8:07, WLA and Laconia. Vikes have doubled up the Spartans here early. And each coach has used one of the timeouts. Coach Schroffnagel using a full there. Coach Morgan earlier used a 30-second timeout. 4 different Spartans have scored. 2 different Vikings have scored, if you can believe that. But if you watch any WLA basketball, I suppose you probably would believe that. Screen here for Kiera Shea. Has it in the corner. Kiera looks, bounce pass to the high post. Tapped away from Nell. Nell has it. Has someone underneath, but it's poked away by Ava Engel. Another great defensive stand that time from the Spartans. Here goes Leonard down to the corner. Morgan shot fake there. Looks to drive. Back to Morgan now. Or pardon me, Leonard. Aubrey Leonard from Morgan, and Leonard hit the 3. She's the 5th different Spartan to score tonight. And the Spartans just like that, back within 6. Feels like the Vikes played a flawless. There's Leonard into a passing lane. Taps it back to Duel. Duel crosses over, middle of the paint, gives it back to Leonard. Leonard down the right side of the paint, all the way to the rack. 5 straight for Aubrey Leonard, and it's a 4-point contest. It was 9 points just a couple seconds ago, and just like that, this thing gets tightened back up. Feel like you play perfectly, and a couple plays later, the Spartans are right there. And more physicality, players on the floor. And it's jump tied up back to the Spartans. Man, I'll tell you what, Coach Morgan was almost grabbing the ball. He was almost, he was on the floor there, but he was, looked like he wanted to participate there. You do got to stay off the floor. There's a couple of college coaches who've been relieved of their coaching duties mid-game because they don't want to stay off the floor. Here's Peyton Morgan, top of the key, Duel. Vikings switch another screen. Duel crosses over, gets it to the high post. Back to Leonard. She's got 5 straight. Drives the paint, down to Engel. Nice pass. Ava Engel scored, and she's the 6th different Spartan to score. It's a 7-0 run for the Spartans. Shea working against this trapping zone. Down to Cole. Cole's tied up there. And do they get a foul or do they get a jump? They get a jump. This swarming Spartan defense has turned the Vikes over several times in the last couple of minutes. It was a 9-point game at 8:07. Maybe highlight that. But now the Vikings just trying to get a good offensive set going, let alone some points. Down the lane goes Nell. Did she travel? Yes, she did. Drug the pivot foot. Got a jump stop there in the middle of the paint, and instead drug the pivot foot. 6 minutes and 20 seconds first half. 18-16, the Spartans continue this 7-0 run. Here goes Tierney Madigan down the lane, and she's fouled by Lindsay Nell. Second foul for Nell, second team foul for the Vikings. Nell thought she went straight up and down, but Coach Schroffnagel's got a decision. Avery Supernan to the table as Tierney Madigan lines up the first one, and it's good. Madigan's got 3 after that goes down, and the next one will give the Spartans their first share, it'll be a tie game for the first time since 0-0. And it is. 18-18, a 9-0 run for the Spartans. Kiera Shea's got it across half court. Got to be careful in that spot. There's Avery Supernan, back high post. Oh, that was a hack and no whistle as Abby Cole got hammered from behind. Siri Kuski for 3. And she gave me grief on Tuesday when I said she couldn't shoot it. She absolutely can. It's her 4th 3 of the year. And Siri Kuski ends the 9-0 run for the Spartans and ends a long drought for the Vikings. Here goes Leonard. Wants to respond. That's blocked by Shea. Saved by Cole. Back to Leonard. Poked away by Leah Tyson. Down to the corner with Madigan. She'll hesitate and set things back up. Shea almost tapped another one away. This is Morgan. Duel. Oh, my. The pace is furious tonight. Here goes Morgan off of a screen. Has it on the left wing. Down to Duel in the corner. Vikings switching everything. Crossing over is Duel. Bounces down to Morgan. Morgan off of a Duel screen. There's Leonard once again to collect and reset for the Spartans. Out to Morgan. Can't leave her open. That missed off to the right. and Abby Cole's going to collect the rebound in the backcourt. Laconia will retreat. Vikes want to push it down to Avery Supernan. Back out to Kuski. Finds Abby Cole. Top of the key. Fakes it to Tyson. Back to Kuski. There is Kira Shea. Shea to the paint. Shot fake there from Abby Cole. That misses. Offensive rebound, no. Nice defensive board from Leonard. Looks up ahead to Morgan. Back to Duel. Near side Leonard. Down to Ava Engel. This looks long. It is long. And the rebound is down to Siri Kuski. She's hammered on the far side. Foul there. It was Peyton Morgan on the rebound. That's the 5th team foul on the Spartans. And number 2 on Morgan. So Morgan will take a seat, as will point guard Aubrey Leonard. A 3-point contest right now, and the Vikings going to continue to face high pressure. It's a 1-3-1 look. That is very unique and played extremely well by the Spartans. Cole saves possession here. Madigan steals it from Kuski. Out to Engel. Here is Taplin, who's back into the game. Back out to Ava Engel. Short corner. Duel out to Taplin. No good. Missed it long. Tapped around. Offensive rebound. And, well, Kira Shea got her money's worth on that as she hammered Engel. Engel will go to the free throw line. She almost fought through it and scored. That was one of the harder fouls you'll see, and Shea picked it up. 4 minutes left in this first half, and Ava Engel to the charity stripe and misses the first long. Engel's got 2 points here this evening. Audrey Schumacher and Lindsay Nell into the game. They replace Siri Kuski and Leah Tyson. And Engel hits the second, so 3 for 4 start from the line for the Vikings, 3 for 4 start from the line for the Spartans. Here's Kiera Shea. Bounces to the near side. Avery Supernan. That's not the place you want to get caught with it. She was able to get it away before the trap came. There's the trap in the corner. Vikes get it to Nell. Out to Shea from Supernan. There's Schumacher again. Nice ball fake from Abby Cole. Nell has it. Oh, it crawls over the front edge for Lindsay Nell. You betcha she's got 16 points. And the Vikes lead is 5. Check that 4. 23-19. Down to Duel in the corner, guarded by Schumacher. She goes baseline, bounces to Madigan. Madigan against Shea, kicks it out top of the key. There's the 3 ball again, comes up short, and a nice block out from Abby Cole is going to send it back to the Spartans. That was Kiel who came up short, and I think it was either Engel or wasn't sure who it was underneath trying to fight for that rebound, but it was a very nice box out from Abby Cole. Spartans back to man defense. Crossing over goes Nell. Here is Abby Cole, top of the key. Trying to use a Kiera Shea screen. Now kicks it back out to Schumacher. Lindsay Nell's having herself a heck of a first half. Down to Abby Cole. Cole saves it. Kicks it back out to Lindsay Nell. Nell with a stutter dribble. Back to Cole. 3 on the way. She was falling away. No good. And tapped out, stays with the Spartans. Goes over to the Spartans. And honestly, for Kiera Shea, maybe they're a little bit lucky that she wasn't whistled for a foul. Would have been her second. Vikings have 2 fouls on Nell and 1 on Shea. And if you're going to talk about a big 3 that scores as the Vikings' big 3 does, you got to keep them out of foul trouble. That's part of the deal. Down the lane goes Madigan. Top of the key. Engel 4-3. This misses. Off to the left and goes out of bounds to the Vikings. So the Vikings have settled back in defensively. They gave up 1 big 9-0 run. Outside of that, the Vikings have done a pretty good job defensively against what can be a high-flying Laconia Spartans offense. They've hit a ton of threes this year. And you just feel like Peyton Morgan might be a ticking time bomb. Now, she's on the bench right now with the fouls, but she's 0 for 4 from 3, and that is something you don't expect. Offensive rebound, Abby Cole gets herself some space, and she finishes underneath with a foul. And we'll go to the free throw line for 2. Excuse me, I made that sound like she made it. She did not make it, but did finish off the play strong. Cole's first free throw is good. Abby's struggled a little bit from the line recently. I know she's been frustrated. See her throughout the school day, got her in class, and sometimes she'll say, yeah, you know, it's frustrating right now, but you just know with a player that works as hard as Abby does, she's going to pull through that at some point. Viking lead back out to 6. At its biggest, it was 10. And for a brief moment, Laconia was tied. This is Keel. Top of the key with Taplin. Taplin drives out to Keel. Keel wants to use a couple of screens. They're trying to get the ball down to Madigan. Now Madigan's going to trot to the corner. And, oh, what a move from Aubrey Leonard. Down the lane she goes and finishes once again. She's got 7, and she leads all scorers for the Spartans here this evening. Just a beautiful reverse crossover dribble from Aubrey Leonard. Short corner with Avery Supernan. That was a misadvised pass. It's not a word. Near side, anyways, it was a steal. Here's Madigan. Triple on the way. It's strong. And the rebound on the far side is to Lindsay Nell. Lindsay looks ahead to Supernan. Instead crosses over. I think it was last off of Lindsay. Yeah, it was. She didn't think so, but it looked like it hit her knee last. And we'll see if Coach Schroffnagel tries to get her out of the game. Here comes Siri Kuski. I think that's for Lindsay. Yep, last minute, 10 seconds. As Coach Schroffnagel just trying to preserve the 2 fouls. That situation, I mean, you don't want that to get out of hand here before halftime. Have her pick up her 3rd. Smart play. Crossing over is Leonard. Leonard, oh, another hesitation dribble. Oh, she missed it, left it up short. And the Vikings, we'll see, it's probably too long for them to have one possession. Oh, no, it's Kiera Shea in transition. Triple, good. From the left wing, Kiera Shea hit it. And the Vikings lead is 7. Here comes Leonard trying to get it into Madigan. Between the circles, Engel. Down here to the corner, this is Keel. Keel off of a screen. Far side Madigan, shot fake there. Middle of the paint she goes, working on Shea. Scoops it up, no good. Rebound, Engel, no. Cole with the rebound. Far side, Siri Kuski. Coach Schroffnagel trying to get him to slow it down. Here is Kiera Shea. Shea doesn't want to slow it down. She goes down the paint, fouled to the free throw line. A hip check underneath, and Shea's going to go to the charity stripe. Spartan fans don't like it. I don't know if Coach Morgan likes it either, but it was a little bit of a hip check, and the first free throw is good. By the way, it's National Officiating Week. However, I don't know what the official organization, if there is official organization on that, but you know, the officials done a nice job here tonight. Not a ton of whistles. Obviously, if you're just tuning in and you're looking at the foul count, you're probably screaming at it, but I think it's been pretty well officiated so far outside of maybe a couple of calls that could have been made. Under 10 seconds to play here. Viking lead is 9. Looking for Madigan. And a travel. Taplin drug the pivot foot. And that's smart by Tierney Madigan. Obviously she's working against Kiera Shea. It's very difficult. But she has found it kind of a tough road here in this first half. At least she saw the ball go through the hoop there, you know. Taplin comes off the floor as Molly Dool returns, the 5'7" sophomore. Vikes lead is 9. Kiera Shea's going to get open in the backcourt. And straight past Leonard. There is Nell. Nell, she's got 3 seconds left. Back to Shea. Got to heave it. Banked it in! Kiera Shea at the buzzer. The bank is open on a Friday night in Fond du Lac. 33-21, an exclamation point to end about as good of a first half as you could have imagined for the Vikings. In the midst of that half was a 9-0 run by the Spartans. The Vikings close it on their own 12-0 run to finish this first half 33-21. And the Vikings, well, they played about as well as they could have there in that first half. And the Spartans missed a couple shots early. Then the Viking defense took hold. And that is the story of the night. My goodness, what a way to end that first half. Kiera Shea on the right wing just heaved it up. And wouldn't you believe it, it goes down. Shea finishes that first half with 12, 16 for Lindsay Nell. Just 2 for Abby Cole, 3 for Siri Kuski in that first half. We'll get you Laconia's numbers as we add them up here during the halftime intermission. Come back with more. A Flyway Conference title in some way is most likely on the line here tonight, and it's a good one between the Vikings and the Spartans. Stay with us. Back here at halftime, Jordan King with you. Glad to have you along. This is fun. This is fun now. Come on. By the way, earlier this week was National Girls and Women in Sports Day. And just a recognition. I know our good friends with W7 couldn't be here tonight. And if Gary's tuning in, shout out. What they do for girls and women's athletics here in the state of Wisconsin is tremendous, and I really like their mission. They do a great job. And shout out to both of these teams. It's funny. I have throughout my time covering sports, and I've covered enough sports. I'm not going to pretend I'm some grizzled media vet, but getting to cover it on Power 5 Division I college campuses and cover Power 5 football. I mean, just if you're going to tell me that these games are any less entertaining, then you're wrong. I won't debate you. I'll just tell you you're wrong. These games all the way down the line is awesome, and pretty much every game you get to watch Laconia is a good night. And these Vikings are a ton of fun to watch as well. And we got a good one here this evening. And if you think for a minute the Vikings are safe, you saw in the middle of that first half that they absolutely, truly are not safe here in the second half with just a 12-point lead for the Vikings. Give you some scores here for the Spartans. It was much more spread out. This is, again, what we expected. The Vikings are led by three scorers, get almost all the points. For the Spartans, they spread it around. 3 points for Ava Engel, 2 for Molly Duell, 4 for Tierney Madigan, 2 for Callista Vandenberg, 3 for Reese Keel, and the leaders for the Spartans was Peyton Morgan. She checked that Aubrey Leonard, who had 7. Getting to Peyton Morgan, that's perhaps the best job the Vikings did. Now, I will say this, the Vikes left Morgan open a couple of times in that first half, and you do that, you're playing with fire with the kind of three-point shooter Peyton Morgan is. She's a 43% shooter. She missed 4 in the first half. Statistically speaking, if she shoots 4 more in the second half, she's going to hit 3 of them. Vikes got to do I'm not going to complain for the Vikes because the way they defended there in that first half was pretty good. 5.5 minutes. I'm going to go grab some water and try to heal up this voice for the second half. We got a good one, and it's going to go straight down to the wire. You better believe that. Vikings Spartans, second half on the way. Just about ready for the second half of action. Jordan King with you. Thanks so much for joining us tonight here on WLA TV. Second half on the way. I don't quite know what kind of Coach Morgan is. I don't necessarily get the drift. He's a tear the paint off the wall kind of guy. He's intense, but I mean, you look at his coaching staff and Kevin Engel and then Lucky and Lance Wirtz. I mean, they are not going to bat an eye. And for a team that is led by a bunch of sophomores, they aren't going to bat an eye either. These girls are battle tested. In some of the biggest ways, they are battle tested. So no doubt about that. So they're going to reset the game clock to 18 minutes. And somewhat unfortunately, that's all we get left. Just 18 more minutes. Here's Aubrey Leonard. First chance of the night for her. Kicks it out to Duel, who starts this second half. Did not start the game, but starts the second half. Here's Leonard. Leonard looking underneath to Vandenberg. Now Vandenberg resets in the short corner. Dribbles to the middle of the paint. Nice take, Callista Vandenberg, and it's a little bit too strong. Rebound down to Cole. Outlet to Siri Kuski. On the wing, there goes Lindsay Nell. Gets it to Leah Tyson. That's Tyson's spot, but she doesn't hit it. Rebound on the near side. This is Kira Shea. Lindsay Nell right at the high post. Couldn't get it to go. Offensive rebound tipped out. Located by Cole. 3-ball on the way. This misses. And a nice rebound from Peyton Morgan. Abby Cole picks up a cheap one in the backcourt. That is not what the Vikings need to start doing. Morgan clearly had the rebound, secured it. Can't pick up that foul. Just the first on Abby Cole. 17 minutes left here in the game. Nice take by Leonard. Gets straight to the hoop and scores. Aubrey Leonard with a beautiful take to the rim and able to use her body to kind of shield Leah Tyson out of the way there. Here's Siri Kuski, lobs it, poked away. That was Morgan who got her hand on it. Duel has it now in the backcourt. Down to the corner, Peyton Morgan keys up a three. This one misses short. Rebound on the far side, Callista Vandenberg gets it back out. Leonard drives the paint, looking for someone in there. 3 seconds in the paint. Yeah, there it is. The only time they call 3 seconds in the paint, the only way that's still a rule in high school basketball is when a player has the possession of the basketball. I'm completely, you can't convince me otherwise. It never gets called. You might as well take it out of the rule book. Here's Kira Shea. Gets it to Leah Tyson. Tyson looks to the far side. Ooh, got to be careful there. Siri Kuski into the front court. And tapped away from behind. Callista Vandenberg's got a steal. She outlets it to Leonard. And 16:22 left in the game. Leonard crosses over, middle of the paint, up with the left hand. Little contact there, no whistle. Here is Shea out in transition, bounces down to Kuski. Kuski drives baseline, goes up with the right hand, crawls around, no. Offensive rebound, Abby Cole. Power dribble, goes up with it, no. Offensive rebound, no. Abby Cole picks up foul number 2. That time swatting at the ball. There's some contact underneath. Could have called it for sure. Could have called it. But I'm okay with they let the girls play there in that first half, and so far letting them play underneath in the second. 16 minutes to play, 10-point Viking lead. Only 2 points of the half have come from Aubrey Leonard. Here's Peyton Morgan, guarded by Leah Tyson. Leonard now guarded by Leah. Crosses over once, crosses over twice. Down the lane she goes, kicks it to the corner. Tierney Madigan open for 3. This comes up short. And Duel poked out of the way by Siri Kuski. Kuski puts palms into the air, can't believe it. She said Duel was standing out of bounds. That's way too far away for me to make a judgment on that. So it's Duel to inbound it for the Spartans. Lobs it up straight into Peyton Morgan. Looks far side. This is Leonard. Leonard with the shimmy dribble. That hesitation dribble is something else from Aubrey Leonard. Crossing over his Duel. Duel gets to the paint. Misses. Comes up short on that one. Rebound cleared for Lindsay Nell. Nell cross court up to Shea. Shea can't get it to go. Rebound for Leonard. Looks up to Morgan. Can she corral it? She can. She can't make it. Offensive rebound and a foul from Siri Kuski. At least the Vikings will hope so. It should have been on Siri Kuski, but we'll see. No. Lindsay Nell with the foul. I think they got the wrong person there, but that's 3 on Nell. That is a big call and a big case, in my opinion, of mistaken identity. Nell was straight up and down. It was Siri Kuski that kind of brought the arm down, and it would have been a good call on her. Here is Kira Shea. Kira drives the lane, looking for Kuski, now collects. Here is Siri Kuski, down to Leah Tyson, bounce back to Siri. Kuski's got it, lobs it down to Lindsay now. Lindsay somehow saved that, but she's not able to save it now, goes out of bounds, as Madigan was able to kind of muck up the situation. And it's a 9-point Viking lead, but everything seems to be hanging. It's just on a knife edge here. 15 minutes left to play. Leonard crosses. Here's Morgan, left wing three. That comes up short. And absolutely unexplainable situation with Peyton Morgan from three here tonight as Leah Tyson completes the steal. Shea crosses over, gets to the near side, bounces to Leah Tyson, bounces down, kicked, and it'll stay. Last off, Aubrey Leonard. Timeout for Coach Morgan with the Spartans. We'll see what he takes. If it's a 30, we're going to keep it here. But it looks like it is a full player sitting down. We're going to take a full with him. Vikes lead by 9, WLA TV. Stay with us. Vikings still looking for their first points of the second half. Remember, they're back in that first half. It was 9-0 before the Spartans scored a point. And so far, 3-0 here in the second half. And the Vikings still looking for their first point, but they lead it by 9. Here's Kira Shea. Lobs it over to Nell. Lindsay's top of the key, gets it down to Abby Cole. Cole kicks it back out, top of the key, 3 on the way. Lindsay Nell, book it! You betcha, Lindsay Nell with the triple. Her second 3 of the night. She's got 19 points. Vikings lead back out to 12, same as it was at halftime. Leonard crosses once, poked away by Leah Tyson. And it'll be an underneath inbounds for Molly Duell. Spartans going 4 across the baseline. They're going to lob it into Peyton Morgan, back to Duell. Try to get a seal for Madigan. Nice defense by Shea. Here is Leonard once again, crosses against Tyson. Kicks it out to Tierney Madigan, far side. This is Duell, bounces down to Vandenberg. Nice hands from Leah Tyson and a steal. Completed by Lindsay Nell. Nell's into the front court, crosses once, crosses Tyson, gets it back to Tyson. Tyson with the long 2, misses. And Duell with a strong rebound on the near side. Looks up ahead to Madigan. In transition, the Spartans score. Tierney Madigan ran the floor well there. She's got 7. 5 of them coming here. Check that, 3 of them here coming in the second half. Here is Kira Shea. Bounces down to Nell. Stolen by Leonard. Ball's on the floor. Leonard's got the ball. Coach Schroffnagel wants his girls to get back. Crossing over is Leonard. Crosses again. Here near side, this is Leonard. After she got it back from Morgan. Top of the key Duell. Vikings continuing to switch everything. Oh, but they left Morgan. Let her get free. She still can't get it to go. Rebound fought for. Scramble. And Abby Cole collects for the Vikings. My statistician on the far side, my father, 15 rebounds at the half for Abby Cole, if that's correct. That is a 3 ball. And, oh, man, was Madigan out of bounds? No. No one can believe that a whistle hasn't been blown underneath there. Abby Cole ends with it, and she's going to go to the charity stripe. Spartan fans cannot believe it. They thought it was either a foul on Abby Cole or it was out of bounds. 12 minutes and 46 seconds left in the game. Abby Cole goes to the free throw line. The foul additionally was on Callista Vandenberg, which is her 3rd. First free throw for Abby is perfect. The Vikings are 8 for 9 from the free throw line, and the Laconia students are just ruthless. No love for the officials over there on National Officials Week. Near side, this is Taplin. Kicks it out, Madigan, working on Shea. She drives the paint, and all the way to the hoop, comes up short. Nice defense by Kira Shea. She just let Madigan ease her into the paint. That's not an offensive foul. Viking fans wanted it, but it wasn't. Down the lane goes Nell. She gets another foul called, and she'll go to the free throw line where she's 3 of 4 tonight. Working on a potential 20-point game. Sits at 19, does Lindsay. And the Viking lead right now is 12. First free throw for Nell is good. She's across the 20-point plateau in a huge outing tonight. 39-26, 12:28 to play. Second free throw rattles around, no good. Offensive rebound, guess who? Abby Cole kicks it out. 3 on the way, it's deep. Offensive rebound, Lindsay Nell this time goes up. She's fouled again. And she'll go to the free throw line again. Coach Schroffnagel's got to love what he is seeing on the offensive glass. Taplin picks up her second on that in that juncture. First free throw rattles around and good this time for Lindsay now. She is now 5 for 7 from the free throw line. Vandenberg comes back in, as does Peyton Morgan after brief stints on the bench for both of them. They replace Keel and Taplin. Second free throw for Nell. She thought she hit it. She knew she hit it. She hit it. 6 for 8 from the line. Viking lead is 15, largest of the night. Here goes Duel. Crosses over. Engel going to drive the paint. Kicks it out to Peyton Morgan. Morgan with the retreat dribble. Back to Ava Engel. Trying to get the ball into Vandenberg. Instead has to go to Duel. Duel crosses over. She gets to the left side. Foul there. Audrey Schumacher is going to pick up the foul. And we're slowly getting the whistles every possession now, and we'll see what the final foul count is. But we have more whistles here in this first 5 minutes than we did in the first 5 of the second half, that's for sure. First free throw good for Molly Duel. And perhaps this game just about needed it. Just starting to get on the scrappy side of things. Getting a wee bit scruffy out there and trying to rein it back in, which is the right thing to do. Ooh, Shea almost traveled. Here's Schumacher. Down to Nell. Nell going to drive baseline. One-handed pass. Nice seal. Abby Cole. She's fouled. Back to the line goes Abby. That was a beautiful seal by Abby Cole, and what a wonderful pass from Lindsay Nell. What a wonderful pass by Lindsay. She got 22 points. And a very nice doing the other things on that one. Back in comes Leonard. She's been terrific tonight. Got 9 points. Leah Tyson back into the game. Abby made the first and will try to stay perfect from the free throw line. She's 5 for 5. And if Abby was saving all of these up, 6 for 6 now for this game, well, you couldn't have saved it for a better night. Viking lead remains 15, but if you're a Viking fan, the clock seems like it is stuck in quicksand, moving slowly down the lane. Tierney Madigan, that's what she does. She's got 9 now with a beautiful floater through the lane up with the left hand. Both Madigan and Morgan are lefties, and a foul that time on Madigan as she bumped into Kira Shea. I think that's just her second, so really no one in foul trouble. I mean, 3 in the second half, I don't know if I call that foul trouble. 3 at halftime, certainly. But 3 this late into the second half. Here goes Avery Supernan, loses it. Ava Engel, I think, poked that away, and it ended up with Vandenberg. She shovels to the point guard, Aubrey Leonard, near side with Molly Duel. She crosses once and hands back to Engel. Down to the corner with Leonard. This is a matchup for Vandenberg. Can't get it to go. And the rebound down to Kira Shea. She wants to beat everyone down the floor. Bounces near side, Lindsay Nell. Top of the key, Cole. Wants to queue up a 3. Comes up short. And the Vikings going to retreat quickly as Duel trots into the front court. Between the circles, near side Leonard. Still guarded by Leah Tyson. Vikings back off. Miscommunication on who's got who on this near side. Meanwhile, The Vikes do a nice job on the far side. Back into Vandenberg. Foul, count the basket. And the foul, they'll say that Kira Shea brought her hands down her eyes. Smile from Shea. She says no, but the foul. And I think Coach Schroffnagel is saying it's when she got hit in the chest, your natural reaction is to bring the arms down. But nonetheless, it's the 5th team foul on the Vikings, second on Shea. 2 on Shea, 2 on Cole, 3 on Nell. And one free throw is good for Callista Vandenberg. She's got 5. And the lead is back to 10. It's a 5-0 spurt. I was told I couldn't call those runs. I'm just kidding. They didn't say that. They just said, I don't think that's a run. And they're right. 5-0 is probably not a run. We'll call it a spurt. Here's Kira Shea trying to stop that. Rattles around and out. Nice box out from Ava Engel, but it left Lindsay Nell free, and it goes out. Stays with the Vikings. No, they're going to tie it up jump. And it goes back over to the Vikings with the arrow. So instead of, I don't know if the referee just didn't see who that was out on or he was just slow to the whistle for the jump. I thought it was as well. Here's Kira Shea. Lobs it into Lindsay Nell. Nell looks into Cole. Cole does a nice job to get out of the paint, avoid the 3-second call. That is almost stolen by Duel. Tied up yet again. And Laconia wins possession back with 10:09 to play. Beautiful defensive set that time. And Coach Schroffnagel wants a timeout right now. And it's a full timeout. We're going to catch our breath here. 43-33, 10-point lead for the Vikings, but it does not feel safe. If you watch Laconia, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I'll leave it at that. Back with more after this. We're going to come back here a second early. Got 139 of you somewhere around there watching here this evening. Appreciate you tuning in here on WLA TV. That's the highest of the season. Not highest all time, in fact. 2 years ago when the Vikings won the Flyway Conference outright, Elena Supernan and Geneva Hewitt, and the Spartans had the likes of Renz and oh, man, there were some players now on that court. We got up over 180, close to 200 people that night. Here goes Callista Vandenberg and a nice finish out of the timeout. And an 8-point Viking lead now. This is Leah Tyson. Tyson has it on the wing, top of the key, Nell. Near far side, check that with Kira Shea. Shea drives the paint, goes up with it. A lot of contact, no whistle. Coach Schroffnagel got to be careful on that far side. That was as demonstrative as you'll see. Tierney Madigan near side. Aubrey Leonard finishes at the rim. Coach Schroffnagel cannot believe it. It's an 11-point night so far for Aubrey Leonard. And Kira Shea took a lot of contact there, but the whistle was not coming. Near side. On the paint, down to Siri Kuski in the corner. Kuski dribbles back to the top of the key. Vikings being patient. Lindsay Nell rejects the screen, kicks it out. Abby Cole, she's got to hit one of these. There it is! Abby Cole with a triple. She's got 9. That was the response the Vikes were looking for, and the lead is back to 9. Backdoor cut, Tierney Madigan up with the left hand, no good. Offensive rebound, Madigan, and finishes. Nice job, Tierney Madigan, good response. And she's now up to 11 points. 11 for her, 11 for Peyton, or check that, Aubrey Leonard. Near side with Leah Tyson. Tyson trying to get it into Cole. Instead goes to Kuski. Siri looks top of the key to Shea. Shea looks far side, Nell. Nell to the high post, poked away from behind from Abby Cole. Another 3 launched up. Oh, it was all but down for Lindsay Nell. How does that not stay down? Here's Madigan. Driving baseline, block on Kira Shea. 7-point lead for the Vikings with 8 minutes and 26 seconds left. Underneath inbounds, that's the 3rd foul on Shea. And the Spartans will key it in under there with Duel. Molly Duel lobs into Leonard. As Engel top of the key, and that's where they'll reset. Leonard pulls up Callista Vandenberg for a screen. Now fires it over to Vandenberg. That was a pass with some velo on it. That was a fastball. Here's Leonard. Vikings overplaying, looking for a backdoor cut. Nice job, Lindsey Nell, to recover. Here's Duel. Vikes switch it. Down to Leonard in the corner. Trying to look for Madigan. Trying to find a path to Madigan. Goes baseline. Kicks it to Duel. 3 on the way. Missed long. A rebound fought for. Last touched by Callista Vandenberg. Going back the other way. And 4 assistant coaches. Well, there's only 3 over there. So there's 3 assistant coaches that jumped up out of their chairs there. Could not believe that was last touched by Callista Vandenberg. I think it was a foul. And I think the refs said instead of calling a foul, we'll give the ball to WLA. Save Vandenberg the foul. It would have been her 4th. This is Kira Shea. Far side with Kuski. Lobs it in. That's a dangerous pass. It's poked away by Leonard. On the floor go the Vikings. They got the ball there. There is Abby Cole still with the Spartans now. Shoveled from Leonard. There's Madigan. Won't go. Defensive rebound. Shea pushes it up. There's Abby Cole. She lost control of it. Abby was free underneath and almost too free. And Coach Schwartz is out of his seat saying, get back. Use this opportunity to get set up. It has been rampant. The pace has been furious between these two Flyway Conference foes. 7-point lead for the Vikings. This is Duel. Drives against Nell. Looks to Vandenberg, shovels to Vandenberg. Top of the key angle, far side Leonard. Thought about the 3, now going to dribble. Hesitation, down the paint she goes. Straight up and down with Kira Shea. She gets the rebound as well. Shea on the near side. Crosses over, kicks it out. Siri Kuski, high post. Abby Cole. Cole drives it down, up with the right hand. You betcha, Abby Cole. That is a big play for the Vikings, and the lead's back to 9. Every time the Vikes have needed a play, they've gotten it. Can they get a defensive stop now? 48-39, down the lane goes Madigan off her own foot, and it goes out of bounds. The Vikes can get a stop. Peyton Morgan back into the ball game. She replaces Ava Engel. And the Spartans are back to the 5 that they started the second half with. And I think Coach Morgan wants a timeout. He's going to take a full timeout. 48-39, 9-point Viking lead. The Vikings have never trailed tonight. They started tonight with a 9-0 run. Had a 10-point lead in the first half. In the midst of that first half, Laconia had a 9-0 run. That tied things up. Late in the first half, the Vikes go on a 12-0 run to open up a 33-21 halftime lead. And here in the second half, the Vikes have just about been able to keep the Spartans at arm's length. They've gotten as close as 3, I believe, here in the second half, if my notes are correct, but the Vikings just continue to re-extend the off arm, if you will, to use either a dribble drive or the Heisman Trophy pose one. I don't think anyone here is going to win the Heisman Trophy unless the NCAA drastically changes their rules. All right, 6:22 to go. And Laconia, Coach Morgan using that timeout to set up a full court 2-2-1 trap in the back court. It's triple teamed for Shea, and Shea loses it. There you go. That's a good start for the press. Steal for Aubrey Leonard. Did she steal another one? Yes, she did. Looks across. There's Morgan. Blocked by Nell. The chase down block from Lindsey Nell preserves another 2 points for the Vikings. 6:05, and within 12 seconds, the Spartans have 2 steals on this press that they've just installed. Here goes Madigan, straight up and down where the Vikes didn't even touch it. It goes back over to the Vikings. That's a good call, I think. Madigan went up with it. It was last off of her, and I think we're going to get a technical foul here. That was as demonstrative as you'll see a coach get. Oh, it's a bench warning. Okay, so that's a nice job. That's a nice job. A bench warning was given to Coach Morgan. Now, a technical foul would have been absolutely acceptable there. He was out of his box. He was way too demonstrative, and a T would have been appropriate. But I'm okay with the refs. They know what's at stake here. They've done an excellent job here tonight. Here's a Vandenberg three, and she hit it. That's a big triple by Callista Vandenberg, who's up to 10 points here tonight, and it's a 4-point contest. Here goes Lindsay Nell down the paint. Bounces. Abby Cole fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line. That was, you may go back to that. Morgan very well could have been teed up. 2 free throws plus the basketball. That was very intense treatment of officials, I'll just say that. Here's Abby Cole. First free throw is good. She is 7 for 7 from the line tonight. And second free throw as the Laconia students pound the metal bleachers is good. 8 for 8 from the free throw line for for Abby Cole. Nell's 6 for 8. Cole is 8 for 8. 14 of 16 from the line are the 2 Vikings. Crossing over, this is Leonard. Leonard, hesitation move again. Aubrey Leonard to the hoop. She has had a nice night here this evening. Coach Morgan thought it was a travel. Nothing forthcoming. Here's Leah Tyson, cross court to Lindsay Nell. She goes up with it. Vandenberg can't do anything, and Lindsay Nell with the response for the Vikings. Coach Morgan was irate. No travel was called on Siri Kuski. Near side duel. I'd keep going to Leonard. She has had herself a night. She's got it now. Left side. There's that hesitation dribble again. Backwards. Out to Vandenberg. Near side Morgan. She's just waiting to explode. This one will not go. Offensive rebound. Vandenberg and a foul. That's on Abby Cole. Viking fans thought she went straight up. She did not. 15 points for Aubrey Leonard tonight, by the way. And Vandenberg is 1 for 1 from the free throw line. And now 1 for 2. 6-point lead for the Vikings, and it almost feels like they are tied. 4 minutes and 29 seconds left to play. Couple of rhythm dribbles for Vandenberg. A spin off the left hand and up with the right hand is beautiful. And it goes through. 2 for 3 from the free throw line. And Laconia drops back into half-court man now. Interesting. 52-47. Down to Siri Kuski in the corner. Excuse me. Siri Kuski has it out near half court. Looks to Shea. 4 minutes left in the night. Here's Kuski again. Good job to come and meet that pass from Shea. Trying to hand off to Lindsay now. Now skip pass to Shea. Kira has it on the far side. Dribbles down the right side of the paint. Up with the floater. Strong. Rebound by Ava Engel. That was beautiful. Great box out from Ava Engel, and she went down strong with it. Here's Peyton Morgan. Triple on the way. You betcha. Peyton Morgan's been waiting all night for that one to go down, and it's a 2-point Viking lead. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. Told you she was a ticking time bomb. And Kiera Shea dribbles it off her own foot. There's Madigan in the backcourt. She's free of Shea. Down the far side. Kicks it back out. Engel's wide open for 3. Thought about it. Now she's going to drive the lane. Kick it out to Leonard. Aubrey Leonard off a screen. Here's Vandenberg. Blocked. Fouled. They're going to bail her out with an Abby Cole foul. She's got 4 now. 8 fouls for the Vikings here in this second half. Just 6 for the Spartans. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. The closeout from Abby Cole was not quite under control enough. And we'll see if Coach Schroffnagel, given himself a long time to think about this, or are you just going to leave? Kind of got to ride the horses that got you here, so to speak. And the second free throw is good for Vandenberg. She is 3 for 5 now. And I think Coach Morgan is going to bring Molly Duell in for Callista Vandenberg. Vandenberg's in a little bit of a foul bind as well. She misses her second there. So the Vikings still clinging to a 1-point lead. Abby Cole's got it in the backcourt. Here's Kiera Shea, guarded by Leonard. Dribbles to the far side. Lindsay Nell's been big for the Vikings all night. What does she do here? She's guarded by Madigan. Here's Shea. She gets free. Kicks it out. Kuski hit a big three in the first half. Back to Shea. Out to Kuski. Closed out by Vandenberg. Here is Kiera Shea. 2 minutes and 54 seconds left. Nell. A lot of contact there and no whistle. My goodness. Here's Siri Kuski. Doubled. Madigan doubles her. Nice job there by Kuski to somehow withstand that pressure. Here's Abby Cole. Check that, Lindsay Nell. Sorry. I've never mixed those two up more than I have tonight in my life. Here's Kira. 2 minutes and 26 seconds left to play. That is a generous 5 count going on out there. Here's Siri Kuski. Kuski bumped. Leah Tyson back to Kuski. Here is Shea. Back out to Siri Kuski. Hands off to Shea again. 2 minutes to play. And a foul there. They're going to pick up a cheapie on Tierney Madigan. She did have both hands on Lindsay Nell, and that's where they usually draw the line. 3rd foul on Tierney Madigan. 7th team foul. And Duel will check in now for Callista Vandenberg as Vandenberg survives that defensive possession without picking anything up. Nell is 6 for 8 from the line. Confirmation that that's the 3rd on Tierney Madigan. First free throw just about crawls over the front edge and goes down for Lindsay. Vikings traditionally do not shoot the free throw very well, at least have not this season. Second free throw is good. Don't tell Lindsay Nell and Abby Cole that. Actually, don't tell anyone that tonight. Vikes have missed 2 free throws, and they've shot 20 of them. 18 for 20. 1:56. Duel gets into the paint. Almost traveled, shoveled it out to Leonard. Aubrey Leonard shot fake. Tierney Madigan off of a couple of screens. Gets to the middle of the paint, working on Leah Tyson. Turns around, loses control, and a travel. Leah Tyson, that's about as much emotion as you'll see Leah Tyson show. A couple of fist pumps and a couple of claps. She just won possession for the Vikes. Lindsay Nell in the backcourt. Trying to find Abby Cole, instead finds Shea. Shea, Kuski, Cole into the front court. Easy, take your time. She does. Shovels it back to Lindsay Nell, who's going to find Kiera Shea. 1 minute and 30 seconds left from the Vikings knocking off the number 2 team in the state. Flyway Conference title on the line. Siri Kuski hands off to Shea. Shea crosses once, crosses twice. She has no interest in going inside. I think she's going to try to just salt away some clock. I think that was Siri Kuski had the ball 3 times there. I think that would have been my choice. And if Siri goes back and listens to this, Siri, I am not bagging on you here. I'm not ragging on you here. But I think, now statistically speaking, you can foul any of them based on their season statistics. But Lindsay Nell's hit 8 of 10 here tonight. So you would think maybe Kuski hasn't shot one. Maybe you take your chance with her. Instead, they foul Lindsay Nell, who hits the front end. And the Vikes lead by 4, make it 5. Big night for Lindsay Nell. Vikes lead by 5, 1 minute and 8 seconds left. Leonard, hesitation. Vikes have the Spartans in the bonus. You just want to make them work, and you do not want to foul them and send them to the line for bonus. Here goes Leonard down the paint, kicks it out. Madigan 3, rainbows in. Tierney Madigan, the 5th 3 of the night for the Spartans, cuts it back to 2. Well, you didn't think they were going to go away, did you? Oh my. 50 seconds left. 56-54 lead for the Vikings. With that triple, Tierney Madigan is up to 14 points. Aubrey Leonard has 15. And Callista Vandenberg, let's get a quick addition of hers. She's got a dozen. For the Vikings, they've only had 4 players score, 3 for Siri Kuski, 13 for Abby Cole, 12 for Kiera Shea, 28. Is that right? I got 28 for Lindsay now. We'll confirm that. She's got 10 of 12 at the free throw line, another 12. Yeah, 28 points for Lindsay Nell here this evening. Oh, my. What a game. I mean, if you're the Vikings, if nothing else at the end of the night tonight, you have to take away the idea that if you see these guys later in the postseason, you can do it. Even if you aren't able to somehow squeak out this win. Here's Kira Shea. Shot fake there, crosses over, and Peyton Morgan picks up the foul. It's just the 9th team foul, so it's still 1-and-1 bonus. Shea is 2 for 2 from the line. And that is 5 on Peyton Morgan. She had 3 points tonight. Unusually quiet night from 3 for Peyton Morgan. They're going to start the clock for a fouled out player. Get like 10 seconds or something like that. Smart use of the extra time here by Coach Morgan. Now, Peyton Morgan obviously made the right choice. You foul there, although it didn't really look like she was trying to foul. But it does take one of the premier three-point shooters in the entire state, regardless of division, off of the floor. And the lead is 2. If Shea misses, the Spartans can tie with a 2. Well, you guys know how math works. Shea from the free throw line. It's a biggie. And it rattles off and out. No good. The Spartans can tie or take the lead. Duel is wide open underneath. Leonard could not find a passing lane to get it to her. This is Keel. Keel looks underneath. Vandenberg, Callista Vandenberg, back out to Keel. She's hit a 3 already tonight. Shot fake down the lane. Madigan has it. 21 seconds. Poked away by Lindsay Nell. Underneath. Is it tied up? Timeout for Coach Morgan. Laconia has possession of it, and it'll stay with the Spartans. It'll be a side inbounds pass. Full timeout for Coach Morgan and the Spartans. 18 seconds left. The Spartans are 10-0 in the Flyway. The Vikings are 9-1 in the Flyway. But my goodness, this would feel like this would just feel like you got your heart ripped out if you're the Vikings. And man, are we tracking, if you're a Laconia fan tuning in, are we tracking towards the same result as just a week ago, 7 days ago here, probably right about this time. The Vikings had a couple-point lead. The Spartans able to tie it up. Late in that game, the Vikings had a shot at the buzzer, could not get it to go, and then it was all Spartans in overtime. Laconia's boys beat the WLA boys. Last night, the WLA boys lost to the number 5 team in Division 4, the St. Mary Springs Academy Ledgers. Man, that's a good team over there up on the ledge. 18.2 seconds left. Appreciate all 180 of you that are tuned in at this inflection point in these two team seasons, perhaps. Here goes Aubrey Leonard, kicks it to the corner. Keel, 3, comes up short. Abby Cole with the board. She spins once, spins out of it. Up ahead, Siri Kuski. Up ahead, Kiera Shea. Jump stop. She's got it. The lead is 4. The Vikes have done it. They've knocked off the Spartans. You betcha. You betcha. The Flyway title is not yet secured. 58-54. What a game. And let me be the first to say the overrated chant is the stupidest thing you can do. The overrated chant, if you think about it, says the team that you just beat isn't as good as you thought they were. This Spartan team is not overrated. Make no mistake about that. The Vikings played one whale of a game tonight to be able to knock off one of the top teams, if not the top team in the state. School song time. We'll see if I ask Coach King. I have a little bit of an inside track to the coaching staff here. I asked if I could get a couple of players, so stick around with us. We'll talk to hopefully Lindsay Nell and Kira Shea if the coaching staff will send them up to us. So we're going to hang on. So hang on with us, please. We'll get you the final scoring here tonight. It was a deuce by Kira Shea right at the end. That got the lead up to 4, and the heave did not go for the Spartans. That led to a 58-54 Viking win. You've got to be kidding me. By my notes, the Spartans did not lead tonight, which, this is one of their first losses. There are only 3 losses on the season. So, you got that, obviously, but this has to be the first game of the season where they did not lead, at least by my count. Now, you might go back and say, Jordan, what are you talking about? That is absolutely possible. I try my best to keep track of as much as I can, scoring runs and points and all of that good stuff. But what a night here tonight, and what a performance by the Vikings. We're going to get you some final scores here and then talk to a couple of the Vikings coming up after we have the final scores added up. And I know they want to go celebrate with their team as well. Final scores this evening in a 58-54 Flyway Conference contest between the Spartans and the Vikings. And the Vikings knock off the number 2 team in the state. 3 points for Ava Engel tonight, 3 for Peyton Morgan, 3 for Reese Keel, 4 for Molly Duell, 12 for Callista Vandenberg, 14 for Tierney Madigan, and Aubrey Leonard was the leading scorer tonight for the Spartans. She had 15. For the Vikings, 4 players scored. I told you these are not mirror images of each other, these teams. These teams play basketball very, very differently. And the Vikings are very top-heavy, and it showed here tonight. 3 points for Siri Kuski, 13 points for Abby Cole, 14 for Kira Shea, and 28 points for Lindsay Nell. The game high, team high, 28 points. 58-54. Coming up next, hopefully Kira Shea and Lindsay Nell, if I got my request in soon enough. But I'm sure there is some celebration going on back in the locker room before they want to fulfill media duties that aren't actually real. So just a terrific game here tonight. Vikings, just if you didn't join us and you're just tuning in, the Vikings started the game with a 9-0 run, needed all of that and then some. Halfway through that first half, a 9-0 run on the other side for Laconia, coming back the other way. That tied things back up. And then down the last couple minutes of that first half, a 12-0 run for the Vikings ended up with a 33-21 halftime lead. In the second half, the Vikings just continued, as I mentioned, it seemed like almost the entire second half they had a 9-point lead. 9-point lead, 12, 9. And then Peyton Morgan hit just a huge 3. The game was at 5 points at that point in time. She hit the 3, cut it down to 2. Laconia ends up tying it, and the Vikings give them some credit. They responded. There was a counter punch to every Laconia punch, or just about every Laconia punch here this evening, and that was a huge deal to get the win here tonight. And I see a lot of Vikings that have smiles on their faces, so we'll see if they're going to come up and chat with the hometown broadcaster. We'll see. Looks like Lindsay's coming up, and Kira's coming up, and Siri's coming up. I think we got a few options coming up here after the game. So we'll get situated and get ready. Wow. Lindsay Nell's with us first. I think we got the whole team coming up here. So,
Okay.
I don't know. You guys start. I'm speechless after that. What's the reaction right now?
We were just so excited. We knew we had to go out there and play our hearts out, and we did, and it just feels so good.
You guys, I mean, part of it's my fault. We've been building up this game for quite a while now. I think you guys would agree with me if I said it wasn't the greatest performance ever on Tuesday night against North Fond du Lac. What was the last 2 days of practice getting ready for this? And then, obviously, to come out and perform the way you guys did. Go ahead, Lindsay.
We just knew that we had to practice hard the next 2 days. They had to be our best practices of the year, and we practiced hard, and, yeah, it just worked out for us.
Any one of you can answer this. Halftime, you're up by 12. You knew in the first half you were up by 9. They go on a 9-0 run, tie it up. You guys go up by 12 at halftime. You had to know in the locker room the game wasn't done. What was the message from Coach Schaffnagel? What was the message to each other at halftime, knowing that there was still 18 big minutes left to play?
We had to go into the second half saying that it was 0-0 and it was not over, and we had to just restart and pretend the score wasn't that close or anything.
All right, Kira, I freaked out at halftime. Did you think there was any chance that goes in when it left your hand?
No, not really. I knew it wasn't going to be like a swoosh, but I mean, I guess it works.
Hey, it worked. You don't. Hey, if it goes in, it goes in. I was just like, I'm right behind where you shot it, and I was like, oh, that's not anywhere near. Oh, okay, that went in, banked in. Very good. We'll give the microphone to Siri Kuski because I came under some fire earlier this week for criticizing Siri's three-point shooting ability. And Siri, if you didn't hit that, you would have been down by 1 prior to that final possession. So, three-point shooting. This is your chance in front of a live mic to the whole world to roast me on live internet television.
Yeah, Mr. King, he just said that when I shot one in North Fond du Lac, like, oh, Siri doesn't really shoot these, and she usually doesn't make them. But today I made them, and I apologize because I did not shoot an arrow at you.
It's true.
I was reminded I did it, and I feel bad about that.
There was a promise that was made and not kept. Audrey's up here, so we might as well ask her a question. Audrey, you just joined this team this year. What has it been like for you?
It's been.
Okay, you can take a picture first, and then you can. Oh, you guys got it. Okay.
It's been quite the experience. I actually didn't even think I was gonna make the team, but here I am, and I'm really glad I am. And I wouldn't be anywhere else. Rather be anywhere else. Sorry.
There you go. Lindsay, 28 points tonight. I criticize this team's free throw shooting sometimes. It's not that I don't like you guys. It's just I spit facts up here. You guys were 19 of 22 here tonight. So Mrs. King, I think, is going to have to make some cookies by that. Was it any different approach, or was it finally just the lid got off? What was the mindset? You were 10 for 12 from the line.
We've been shooting a lot of free throws in practice, just really working on it, and yeah, just worked out, I guess.
Is there anything in particular that you've done differently recently to try to improve that?
Well, yeah, I guess I've just shot more outside of practice because I knew my percentages were really bad to start the year. But yeah, I think just keeping your routine and doing it the same every time.
You guys know, last question for whoever wants to answer this. You guys know as much as anyone. There's a good chance you see these guys again. How big of a boost was this? I mean, you knew you could play with them, but how big of a boost was it to finally get over the edge here for the first time in a couple of years?
It was just so relieving. Just when that buzzer rang and we were up, I literally was screaming my lungs out. We are just all so happy that we won this night. And the season's not over because we still have one loss. So we have to keep fighting against all those other conference teams because they can give us a run for our money.
Omro comes in here next week, a very good Omro team, so absolutely right. But I'm with you. When you guys were up 4 and 1 second left, I still thought there might be a way that you guys could, Laconia is that good. Congratulations. Go celebrate it with your teammates.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just wanted to add, you should be lucky we won tonight because you do not have a Lululemon fanny pack on like you promised last week. And I think your mom brought you something.
Yeah, I think it's over on the other side. I'll put it on afterwards, and you guys
Your wife said that we could get a picture with you wearing one.
Okay.
So you can wear mine. I have a legit one that you
All
can
right,
wear.
fine. I'm down for that. I made a promise. You guys held up your end of the deal. You won tonight. So you guys, I will go down and put on whatever silly wear that you guys have. So there you go. Thanks to these girls. It was a huge game tonight. Big game for them. They moved to 15-3 on the season. Check that, 16-3 on the season, and 10-1 in the Flyway Conference. Meanwhile, Laconia drops to 10-1 in the Flyway. And as the girls just said there, that was great perspective from Siri Kuski at the end to just say, the job's not done yet. Got to keep fighting. And I'm assuming that's what they will do. So we're going to get out of here. Let you know that coming up next week, I think we got 3 again next week. Might just be a 2 game, but we're starting to wrap up towards the end of the season. Hope you'll join us for those. Got Omro coming in next week. Rippon's a game that we got coming down the pike here as well. So hope you'll join us for all of that. Jordan King saying so long. Thanks for joining us. What a blast this was here tonight. If you couldn't be here, I hope I did an all right job of making you feel like you were somewhere near WLA USA. Appreciate you tuning in. Jordan King, good night.